in yesterday class we have seen the status code, right? Guys, you can mute your camera. In yesterday class we have seen the status code, right? We have seen success status code and the client status code, and we also gone through the server error, but not in detail. The server error, when we apply the load on the server, at that time we will see how we can reproduce the server error. So we have only seen the theoretical sections, like what is the reason behind the server error. Okay, so let me call everyone last time. After then we can proceed further, because it's 2.5 hour class, so it's very important if anyone missed the class. Okay, so that's why I don't want to miss anyone. Okay, so I have started the recording. I have opened my JMeter. Okay, so guys, in this class today we are going to discuss about the controller. What did you mean by the controller, and what is the use of the controller in JMeter, right? And in the interview they will also ask about the controller. Okay, so let me delete the unnecessary controller which I have used here. Recording controller, let me delete. Random controller, let me delete. Yeah. So guys, you can mute, please. I'm hearing the background noise. Okay, so guys, we have seen the what I told you in the earlier class, that controller is where we are storing our sample. Where we are storing our sample means controller is just like the container, right? But this each container have the different behavior. So guys, please mute yourself. So controller we have, right? Inside the controller we are storing the request, right? And I told you controller is just like a container. So guys, have you seen in the roadways, we have the buses, right? So if I'm talking about the buses, what the buses is doing? The buses, taking the passenger from one location and drop that passenger to the another location, right? That's the bus doing. Okay, but we have the different buses are available, and each bus is having the different behavior, right? Some of the buses are the source and destination is different. Some of the buses is non-AC bus, some of the buses are the air conditioned bus, some of the buses are luxury bus, some of the buses having the Wi-Fi's and the TVs and all the facilities we have, right? So each buses having their different behavior, right? Different functionalities, right? So similarly we have the difference controller. If you right click on the controller, sorry, thread group, if you right click on the thread group, the logic controller, when I hover my mouse over the logic controller, you can see it here. We have multiple logic controller: if controller, transaction controller, loop controller, while controller, critical section controller, for each controller, include controller, interleave controller, once only controller, random order, and so on, right? We have different types of the controller. So you have to right click on the thread group, and then you will see logic controller, and then you will see all the types of the controller. Okay, so the logic controller, what did you mean by the logic controller? Okay, so logic controller means logic controllers determines the order in which the request will execute. The logic controllers helps to control the flow and order of processing of the sample in the thread. Okay, I know you don't understand. I agree. I think you not get 100%. Leave it. Just leave it. Leave it. First, we will learn all the controller, then again read this definition. Then you will easily understand definition, what it basically, the controller. Okay. So when you click on the thread group, right click, you will see the logic controller. Inside the logic controller, we have different types of the controller. Okay, the first controller, simple controller, which we have already discussed in the previous classes. Let me call to the person here. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Okay, so simple controller, I think, which we already discussed. Simple controller means just like a folder, which hold your request. Simple controller will hold the request. Simple controller is hold your request. It is simple like a folder where we are storing our request. So if I go to the any directory, can you see it here? Right, we have this folder. So what is the use of this folder? We are just storing our objects here. Okay, so simple controller means simple controller, just it, where we are storing our request. Simple controller is just like a container for user request. It does not providing any customization, randomization, or change of the loop count or extra feature. It's just like a simple controller, don't have any extra feature. If you use this simple controller just like a folder where we are storing our request. Okay, you can see this is the simple controller. Inside the simple controller, we are storing our user request 1, 2, 3, and so on. Right. So you can see it here. This is the login. I think this is the simple controller where we are store the multiple request. Can you see it here? We have store multiple request, and similarly we have sign out. Right. Inside the sign out, we have store the multiple requests. So this is just like a folder container. Now the second request, right click on the thread group, go to the logic controller, and second controller, which is already discussed, recording controller. Okay, which is already discussed. So recording controller is used to record your action item. Whatever the action you are doing, that record all the proxy, that will save all the proxy inside your recording controller. Okay, so you can see it here, recording controller is a placeholder. Placeholder means where we can placeholder means which hold the object, that is the placeholder, right? So recording controller is just like a placeholder where proxy server can be recorded. Whatever the things we are recording through the UI, right? We have seen that how you can record, right? So whatever the things you can you are doing in the UI, that will get recorded inside your recording controller. I don't think we have to explain. I have explained this thing multiple times. So start your recording and record the stuff. Okay. So this is about the recording controller. Here you can see a recording controller is a placeholder to store the recording step. Whatever the step you are doing on the browser. Let's suppose I'm opening the Chrome. Let me open the Chrome browser. Let's suppose I'm trying to click on the make my trip. Okay, whatever the action I will do, whatever the scenario you want to record, whatever the step you want to record, you will do that action in the UI. It will get recorded inside the recording controller. Okay, so this is the JMeter and it's recording the stuff, and whatever the user activity, it will get stored inside the recording controller. And the recording controller is the temporary container. In the real time, when our script is done, we delete the recording controller. Okay, we will move the, I think when we recorded the controller, we filter out the element and we will move the element inside the simple controller. You can see it here. I have moved it here inside the simple controller. Okay, so recording controller is just for the recording and stored all the step inside the recording controller. It is the temporary controller where we are storing the things. It is a temporary basis, right? We have to finalize this thing by creating the other controller. Okay, now moving to the third part. Module controller. Guys, any question regarding the simple and the recording controller? These two controller which I am using from last 2-3 classes. Okay. Now moving to the next controller, that is the module controller. What did you mean by the module controller? So module controller, the goal of module controller is add the modularity to the JMeter. I think you have not understand. Okay, leave it. If you are not able to understand, just leave it. Just leave it. Okay. Now try to understand in the very simple way. Let me record all the unnecessary thing. Okay, we have two controller in simple controller. Inside the simple controller, we have stored the multiple request, multiple proxy. Okay, what we are doing? Sorry. Okay, when you are going to the thread group, when you are clicking on the logic controller, click on the module controller. Module controller. So when you add the module controller, can you see it here? Module controller. Here you can rename the controller, right? So you can give the name as something like pre-request, something like you can give it some any name, you can give it. Okay, so you can change the name, and when you can see it here, module to run. Here you will get option module to run. If you expand this thing, you will see the hierarchy. Here you will see the test plan name, Jetpack store performance testing, and inside that we have the thread group. Inside that we have the controller, the simple controller. Inside the simple controller, you have added the multiple request. You can see it here, right? So what is the use of module controller then? So what module controller will do, whatever the hierarchy, whatever the folder it created inside your test plan, when you select the module controller, it will get displayed here, all the hierarchy here, all the child and the parent hierarchy will display here. Okay, so you will see the multiple folder here if you added here in the test plan inside the thread group. Right now I have added the login and the sign out, login and the sign out. Okay, what I'm doing here, that I'm executing only, I want to execute only login feature. I want to run only login feature. So what I will do, I will only select login here. I will select login and save it, control as, clean this thing and run. Oh, the number of thread is more, I think. Okay, let me change as a 1. Now try to run. So can you see it here? It only executing your sign in. You can see open Jetpat store, click on the sign in, enter the credential and the home page. Even the login module is disabled. Even login module is disabled. Okay, let's suppose whatever the module you want to run, whatever the controller you want to run, just select that controller and run it. It will run that particular module. Even you can't select the multiple here. There is not a functionality to select multiple. You have to run, you have to select only one. Only one. Now guys, you might have question, what is the use in real time? Yeah, I understand. You have added the module controller and whatever the module I will select, that particular will execute. I understand. But what is the real time use? Please tell me the real time use. Okay. So let me explain you the real time use. Real time use. Okay. This is your Jetpat store application. Yeah, this is your Jetpat store application. Okay. Now let me sign in. Let me sign in. What is my ID? This is my ID. What ID I have created? I have saved the ID here. Where it gone? No. I have to again. I don't have remember ID. Jetpat store for and the password is. I saved here. Okay, no problem. Go and again register. I think ID is here. I think somewhere. Enter the credential. Yeah, I got the ID, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Click on the sign in. Pass the username, and this is my password. Copy the password and password. Let's try. It's showing username and password because this application is deleted your credential actually. That's why this application Jetpat store. Okay, so we will again go and register. User ID again, pass the user ID as a Jetpat store and password as a this one. Okay, repeat the same password and first name like test, last name L test. Okay, email ID test at the 123 at the rate gmail. Okay. Now phone number 888888. Address something like Delhi. Address Delhi. City. Guys, if you have already created it, asking me to create invalid username and password, that means you have to again clear, because this particular application will delete the credential after a couple of days. That's why. Okay, so you don't have to worry, this your data is not there because it get deleted by the server. Now let me try to log in and use the same password and log in. Yeah, I get logged in. Now this is your application, right? As part of this application, let me create the scenario. Scenario 1, sign in. Sign in. Okay. After the sign in, click on the fish item. Click on the fish items. Okay. After that, click on logout. Click on logout. This is your first scenario. Now, second scenario. Second scenario is sign in your application. Okay. Click on docs item. Okay. And click on logout. Okay. Now the third scenario. Sign in. Click on cats item. Okay. And click on logout. You want to check the performance of this. Okay. Now the fourth scenario. Guys, everyone can hear me properly?
Yes. Yes, Vikas.
Okay, fine. So yeah, now your fourth scenario. Sign in. Click on birds. Okay. On birds items. Okay. And click on logout. So there are 4 scenarios I have added. So have you noticed in this 4 scenario, guys, something? Have you noticed something in this 4 scenario?
Click on
Gets
logout
repeated.
is common.
Sorry, come again.
Sign in and log out are common.
Sign in and sign out is the common. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, you can mute, please. What we will do here. We'll try to create scenario. Okay. Sign in and sign out is already there, right? Okay. What we will do here, we will create one simple controller. Where is the simple controller? Simple controller. Give the name as a scenario 1. Scenario 1. This is your scenario 1. Okay. Scenario 1. Inside the scenario 1, sign in feature. Let's suppose this is the whole things of the sign in. Okay. Sign in. Let me make the duplicate. I don't want to move actually. Okay, so let me make as a duplicate. I make the duplicate and move this thing here. Okay, I have already moved. Let me delete. Sign in. Duplicate. Okay, and let me move it here. I'm trying to create the scenario. I'm designing the stuff. Okay, because in my case the request is already there. That's why I'm moving. So enter the credential. I enter the credential. Okay, and home page get displayed. Let's leave it, or otherwise it's up to you. You can add duplicate. It get added. So scenario one, sign in is ready. Sign in portion is ready, right? Sign in portion is ready. You added the sign in step here. Open the Jetpack store and click on the sign in, enter the credential, home page get displayed, right? And after that, what is the next one? Click on the fish item. Click on the fish item. Okay. So let me go and inspect. Go to the network section and click on the fish. I have added the fish. Let me create the request inside the scenario one. Sampler HTTP request. Now guys, you guys help me how I can map this thing. I have moved this thing here. Now you guys tell me how I can map. Okay, I have, let me remove this thing, HTTP request. Either move it here. Remove this thing, HTTP. Okay, I have passed here. Now, after the base URL, these all are the resource. Copy this thing and pass it here. Okay, and this is your query parameter. So go and add the query parameter. View category. And value is blank. Okay, value is blank. Add the another category. Add the another query parameter. That is, click on add and add. Now add the value. What is the value? Fish. Okay. Your query parameter. Let me remove this thing. Query parameter is already done. Resource you have added. The base URL you have added. Let me check the port number. What port number it using? 443. Let me pass here 443. Okay. Your mapping is done. Now, what request it is? Click on this item. Click on this item.
Because how do you get the port number?
When you recorded the stuff using the recording stuff, right? Recording feature, so it will automatically take the port number actually. So because I have already recorded the earlier step, so that's why I copied from here actually. Okay, clear, sir?
Okay.
When you use the recording feature, it will automatically take the port number. Okay.
Okay. I got it.
Got it. So because we have already recorded some of the scenario and we have already the port number, right? That's why I have not repeated the same thing. Okay. So click on the fish item, right? Now you're up to here. Your scenario is done. Now click on the logout. Okay. Click on the logout. So this is the logout. Make the duplicate. Make the duplicate and move it here inside the main scenario, right? And okay, and home page also. Let's suppose I am adding the home page also. Okay. So guys, tell me, your first scenario is completed. What is your first scenario was? Sign in, click on the sign in, click on the fish item and log out. So you can see it here. Sign in, click on the items, fish items, and click on the sign out. First scenario is done. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now we can go to the second scenario. Now we will move to the second scenario. Now second scenario is I have to click on the docs items. Okay. So I will go inside the thread group and I will add the sampler. HTTP request, and here give the name. I have to add the controller, na? Controller, logic controller, simple controller. Okay, and put the name here scenario 2. Okay, inside the scenario 2 I will do the same step, right? Agree, guys? Except fish item I have to change. Agree with me? Okay.
Yes.
What I will do, I will create the copy of that duplicate. Is that fine? I can rename this thing. Remove the scenario 2. I will rename this thing scenario 2, and we will delete the fish item. Inside the fish item we will add the dogs item. Okay, so we will go here and clear this thing, and I have to click on the dogs. Okay, click on the dog. So dogs get tracked, right? I will copy this thing, right? So guys, I have applied the shortcut. I have not again duplicate and move the thing. Simply I have duplicate the folder, the simple folder, and you will get all the things here, right? Now I have to add only one scenario, that is docs. Sampler HTTP request. Now pass the URL. It get not copied. Okay, let me again copy and pass it here. Right now again remove the protocol and pass it here, HTTPS. Okay, and the port number is 443. Now remove the base URL and the query parameter from here, pass it here. Okay, now this is your query parameter after the question mark, right? So you will go and add that thing. So view category, this is the one key, right? And what is the value of that key? It is a blank. You can see it here, blank. Okay, so using AND operator, they have used the multiple query parameter. I will copy the next key and I will add this thing, right? And what is the value? Docs. I will pass it here. Okay, let me remove the query parameter. Is done. Okay, your request is ready. Now what is the name? Click on docs link. Click on dog link. So this is your scenario, right? And let me move this scenario up. Let me move this scenario here. After home page get displayed, I want to click on the docs. So that's why I have moved this scenario at particular position. So guys, any question regarding scenario 1 and scenario 2? Clear? Clear, guys?
Yes.
Now,
Yes, Vikas.
now the third scenario. In the third scenario, I have to click on the cat item. Okay, I will again make this as a duplicate. So you can rename this thing as a scenario third, and instead of dog, I have to add the cat. I have to add the cat. Okay, so I will go here, clear this thing, and record the cat. You can see it here. I have recorded the cat. You can see. So I have to only change the name here as a cats. I think cats. Could I will go here. Everything is same. I think I will just change the name cats. Okay, and change the name here also. So guys, our 3 scenario is done. Okay, I will not do the 4th scenario. Let's remove it. It will take more time. Okay. So guys, tell me, we have created the 3 scenario. In every 3 scenario, what is the common things here? Sign in and sign out. Sign in and sign out. Sign in and sign out. So guys, tell me, if you have multiple requests, can we use the same thing multiple times? It is the smart way to do that. It is just increase. You are just increasing the number
No,
of
it doesn't look
requests.
good.
It is the not good habit. You are just increasing the number of requests. Same request we are using in multiple scenario. Agree or not? Agree?
Yes.
So what we will do here, yeah, this will also work. The scenario 2, scenario 3, this will also work. Let me remove the logic control module controller and try to run one and let me clear this thing and run. Go to the view result tree. You can see it here. The scenario are executing. Can you see it here? The scenario get executed. Scenario get executed, right? This is the also the way to do that, but this is the not the smart way to do that, because we are repeating the same thing, same request again and again in every scenario, right? So what we will do here, we will create one module request, module controller. Where is the module controller? Module controller, right? And here you can see I have added scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. It will get displayed here. Okay, so what we will do here, we will add the common request inside one folder, inside one controller. So I have stored the login inside the one folder and sign out inside the one folder. And what I will do, I will delete the sign in from all the scenario. So let me delete. Enter the credential, home page, delete, and sign out, and what I did. Let me move it here. Okay, so click on the fish item. Let me remove the second scenario also. Second scenario, enter the credential. Let me remove home page, remove sign out, remove home page. Home page is done. Docs, clicking on the docs link, and the third scenario, remove the pat store link, sign out link, and remove that home page and click on the, this will be written. And so I have removed the common step from all the scenario. Now can you see the reduce, the number of requests is less here. I have moved the common step inside the particular folder. The login feature, login request, I have moved inside the login and sign out inside the sign out. Right. And what we will do, we will use the module controller. So how you can use, let's suppose this is the module controller I have, let me remove inside the scenario 1, right click and go to the logic controller and add the module controller and click on the login. Select the login and here you can add login to verify what items, fish item. Okay, so I have done. Now what I will do here, I will do move this folder here at the top, because first we have to log in, after then we have to click on the fish item. Agree?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now we added the fish item, means sorry, we added the sign in and the click on the fish item. Now I have to click on the log out, right? For that I will again go here, add the another module logic controller, go and add the module and give the name as a logout, and select the sign out here. Okay, now you can see it will log in. When your request come to here, it will go and call this folder. it will revoke this folder and execute this scenario sign in. After then again come here and click on the fish item, and after then it execute the logout. So logout, it will again go here and click on the logout, and the home page will get displayed after the logout. Same thing I will do it here also. Click on the logic controller. Where is the module controller? And same thing, login to verify docs items. Okay, login to verify the docs item. Here you can select login, right? Move this folder up so that it will execute at the top, and right click again, go and add the logic controller module controller for the sign out, for the log out. Okay, for the logout I have added, select the logout here, sign out. Okay, when the second scenario will execute, it will revoke the login, and then it will click on the docs link and then log out, right? Same for the here. So you click on here and go to add logic controller, module controller, and here login to verify the cats items. Okay, so now move this thing at the top here so that it will execute first, and add the another controller, module controller, and put the name as a logout, and select logout here. Okay, now your scenario is ready. So have we reduced the call or not? We are reusing the concept or not? We are reusing the request, right?
Yes,
Agree,
exactly.
guys?
Yes.
Right, we are not using this request again, and we are not making the same request here. We are just invoking, we are just calling that particular request using the module controller, right? So, and disable this thing, the login and the logout, disable this thing so that it will not execute it. Because if will not disable, then it will also execute. So it's better to disable that thing, because this thing is we are already using here. So it's better to disable. So, and running for the one request, click on all and run. Error is displaying module controller cats item not declared. Somewhere it's showing the error message. Somewhere we have not selected for the cat. Go here, sign out. I have selected. Oh, here we have not selected the which module you want to run, which controller you want to run. That's why it's showing me the error. So I have selected the login. Okay, click and clear. Overwrite and run. Can you see it here, guys? Open Jetpack Store, click on the sign in, enter the credential, home page, and click on the fish item and sign out and the home page. Right? Now you guys tell me what is the use of module controller. I have explained you the module controller. Now you guys tell me.
Reusability.
Reducing redundant requests.
Module controller is used to apply the reuse concept, reusability concept. Okay, so if we have sometime have you when you are doing the UI testing, guys, for the multiple scenario we have the common step like login and click on the particular link, then again go to that page, right? And then some of these steps are common, right?
Like open
So
browser.
open browser, click on the link, enter the credential and click on the particular link, and then you will go to that particular scenario, right? So we have some common state. Okay, so for that purpose we can use the module controller. So here I have used the goal of module controller is add to the modality to JMeter. The general idea is that the web application consists of a small unit of functionality like log on, create an account, log off, right? So this functionality can be stored in simple controller as a module, right? And module controller will choose which module need to run, right? So what we will do, we will create one simple controller, and inside the simple controller we will move the common functionality like login, search, log out, create an account. And you can see it here inside the module controller. You can select that particular which you want to execute. Okay, here you can see the how it looks like in the JMeter, which I have already explained you. Okay, here and the module controller is frequently used in your real time, frequently used in the real time. So this is, frequently we are using. Okay, here I have written. Okay, and note, module controller is used to reuse the request and reduce the number of requests, and it behaves like a function. Okay, here you can see scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, and scenario 4, right? So instead of using multiple scenario common step, we will use the module controller. Any question regarding the module controller? So module controller you can add inside the controller also. You can see it here. I have added inside the controller also. Or you want to add inside the thread group, you can add. It depends on the scenario where you want to add. Okay. Now we are moving to the next topic, that is next controller, that is the loop controller. Loop controller. Okay, so loop controller makes the user request run a specified number of times or run forever. I think you are not able to understand. Just leave it. Okay. Now try to apply here. Okay. Let me collapse this thing and add to the thread group and logic controller. Here you will see the loop controller. Click on the loop controller and here you can see loop count. If I mention 1, that means your request will execute 1 time. If I mention 2, then your request will execute 2 times. If I execute 3, then your request will execute 3 times. If I pass 100, then your request will execute 100 times. If you select infinite, your loop will execute infinite time. It will not stop until unless if you are not stopping. Otherwise, it will not stop. If you select the infinite, in that case, they don't have the break. They will continuously hit your server, for the infinity time. Okay. So what I will do here, I will use 1, right? Inside the loop controller, I will open the Jetpack store. So I will, where is the duplicate? Duplicate and move this here. So inside the loop controller, I'm moving the to call, that is open the Jetpack store URL and click on the sign in. Okay, and right now I am disable all the things, otherwise you will get confused. So I am disable all the thing. I I'm only enable the loop controller and try to understand the loop controller. Okay, here you can see I have passed the 1, and let me clean this thing and run. Guys, can you tell me how many times it get executed? How many times it get executed here? One time, one open JAT store, one sign in. Clear? If you go to the here, you can see one time, right? Now, here I am passing 3. Let's see what happened. Can you see here, when you go to the aggregate report, can you see here the sample is executed 3 times? Each sample, each request get executed 3 times. Can you see it here? So whatever the value you will pass, it will execute that number of times. It will execute that number of times. Okay.
So
Here you
Vikas,
can. Yeah.
here
Tell me, sir.
the question is that means is the loop controller replacement of the number of threads?
You can say like that. You can say like that, but you can mute. So let's suppose sometime in the real time you want to execute any scenario multiple times. You want to hit that thing 3 times, 4 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. You might have faced this type of scenario in the real time in your application in the UI. You want to hit any call multiple times by the same user. Okay, so in that times, in that case we will use the loop controller. So whatever the request you will add here, for that, for particular request it will applicable, not for the others, not for the others, whatever the request I have added inside here. Okay, now
So that many times of request would be sent to the server, right?
yes, that many times will send to the server. If I pass 3, then 3 times will call the open JATPAT store request and 3 times sign in. Then
Okay.
now tell me guys, total how many requests is there? In the interview they will ask you, if you are running any request, there is now come to some mathematical calculation. In the interview they will ask you, total number of request is 2. Total number of requests is 2. Loop count is 3. And number of thread here, this one is 1. Thread is 1. Now tell me total number of requests. How many total number requests will get created? Tell me. Total number of requests. Tell me. Question mark.
I guess it's 7.
6. It's 6, I guess.
It's 6.
6.
6. 6.
Yes. So what happened? It will multiply all 2 into 3 into 1. Let's go to 6. You can see it here. If you go to the here, total sample is 6. Can you see it here? Now, second question. Number of requests is 2. Number of requests is 2. Now I change the number of requests as a 2. Now tell me the total number of requests. Sorry?
12.
12. Everyone agree or anyone having the different answer? 12.
Agree.
Agree. Then let's try it. Clear this thing and run. 12. Now tell me, this is the 12 total number of requests. So each request, how many times you will get executed? Each request. Total number of requests is 12, but each request, how many times will get called?
6 times.
6 times. Because there are, you can see total number of requests is 2 and number of thread is 2. So one user and the loop count is 6. Right? So one user will hit the server one particular request 6 times. Okay, here you can see if I number of thread is 1, number of thread is 1, that is Vikas only, that is Vikas, right? And the Vikas will hit this request how many times? Here I have passed 3, that means 3 times will Vikas hit each request and total request is 6. Agree?
Yes.
Okay, now if I hit 2, if I pass 2, right, number of request is 2, then how many total number of requests each request? Then Vikas 3 and Rahul 3, 3 3 6, right? So each request is 6. So do not get confused in the loop controller and the thread group here. Now simple question. Tell me the output. I have passed the loop count 2 and here loop count also 3, let's suppose. Then tell me the number of requests. Tell me. If I execute, now tell me the request, guys.
It's 12.
12.
Wait. 1.
Because 1 minute, how much you have passed? Can you just show me?
Number of thread is 1, loop count is 2 here, and in the loop controller 3, and 2 request is there.
Yes.
You can see the 12.
Yeah, 12 only.
If I pass here 4, then tell me, guys. Now tell me.
24.
It will execute 24 times. But why? How?
Here I guess means for every user, for the whole collection label, it's the loop will be for 4 times for every user. And again we have passed in the loop controller 2, sorry 3. So
3.
in that way, I guess.
Okay. So first try to count with the 1. 1 user I have hit, 4 users, and each request will hit 4 times, right? And total how many are there? Means 4 into 3, 14, 4 into 3, 12, right?
12. Yes.
12 and 12 plus 12, 24.
Because
24.
why there are two loop counts? It is on thread group one loop count is there, and here also one number we are specifying, right? But both the action are same.
Come again, ma'am. 42.
In thread group, there is a field like a loop count, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, there you're giving one number, and here additionally we are adding one loop controller and specifying the numbers. But both the actions are same, right? Why it?
If I'm adding the thread loop count here, it will apply for the all.
Okay. Hmm.
It will apply for the all, whatever the request controller I have added inside the thread group, it will apply for all, right? And in the loop controller, if I'm mentioning any value, it will apply this particular one,
Specific. Okay. Got it.
right, which I have added. So 4 will apply for this one also. The 4 will apply for this one also, loop controller, and 3 will obviously it will apply for all. So 4 into 3 for 12 looping is here. Okay. Now what you are doing here, let me change as a 1 and clear this thing and select infinity. And let's see what happened. Do not try at your end, otherwise you will face some issue, your system issue. It not get executed. Why? Infinity I have selected
Maybe
and
stuck.
stop this thing and again run. Override. Yeah, you can see it executing. I am not stopping here. And you can see the number of requests: 49, 50, 52, 56, 61, 64. You can change the value. You can see that it's frequently value is changing. 88, 93, 96 user, 100 user hit the server, 100 sample. Now let me stop. Here you will see, if you running this thing as a infinity time, you have two things here: stop and shut down. Right? So click on the stop. I have stopped the execution. Forcefully I have stopped the execution. Here you can see, if you're running this thing as an infinity, here you can see one error is coming here. One error. What is that error, guys? You can see it here. Somewhere one error. Here you can see one error. Can you see this error? Right. So this error get failed. If you go to the view result tree, yeah, here you can see the error. Here you can see can you see it here? We are getting an error, socket closed.
Yes.
What we are doing here, we are frequently hitting the server, and you can see it here at one time, at at one particular for the particular user, the server is returning. When you are trying to hit the URL, it's showing you socket close. It's showing you socket close. Socket close. Socket close, right? That thing we are reporting to the developer, right? That thing you can see the number of bytes, and load time is 170C, connection time is 0, latency is 0, right? So that's why we are applying the load, so that our application would not break. We have to find the leakage, where we have to find the leakage by applying the load.
Because in real time, do we really test with the infinity number of
No, no, no,
values?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
No, if your client is asking that your product is more stable, I think we are not applying, sir. We are not applying. I can't pass you the wrong information. I think we are not applying.
Okay.
Okay. Because this thing, if you run through the command or in the integrated with the pipeline, it's very tough to stop. Right now we are stopping, running through the J meter. So that's why I have forcefully stopped. Okay. So there, if you run this thing infinity time and you leave the thing, then there is a chances that your server will get crash because you are continuously hitting your server. Okay. Now you can see it here. Run user request first time, again run user request second time, run user for third time, fourth time, like that. Whatever the numbers you will pass here in the loop count, that particular number, that particular count, up to that count, it will get executed. This is the cycle. Okay. Now we are moving to the next controller, that is the random controller. Random controller. What did you mean by the random controller? Okay. I read this, I think you will not understand. So let's try to do some practical. Let me delete the loop controller, otherwise let me disable this thing. Okay. Right click on the thread group and logic controller. Here you will see somewhere random controller. Can you see it here? Select the random controller. Random controller, and you are adding some request here. Let's suppose you are adding this one. Move this here. And let's suppose this one. Duplicate and move this here. And let's suppose you are adding some fish item. Where is the fish item? Yeah, here. Duplicate. Okay. So you have created the random controller, and inside the random controller, you have added some of the request. Open the Jetpack store, click on the sign in and click on the fish item. Okay. Now try to execute. Now you guys tell me what is the functionality of random controller. Clear this thing and let me check the loop count here. Okay, not right. So your execution get completed and it executing only one, that is click on the fish item. It's not executing the other two. Now let me again execute. I'm not clearing the stuff. Okay, and click on run. Now you can see it running open the Jetpack store, and it's not running the sign in and the fish item. Now again I am running this thing. I'm not clearing this thing. Open the Jetpack store. Again I am running this thing. Click on the sign in item. Now what did you understand here?
Randomly, it's picking up the request from its box.
Exactly guys, it's randomly picking up any of the request. Whatever the request you have added inside the random controller, it will pick anyone. Not fixed, we don't know. Runtime, at the runtime it will pick anyone. Even I don't know, even you don't know which one will picked by the JMeter. It will pick anyone. You can see it here in every execution. You know, the first time it picked fish item, second time open the Jetpack store, the third time again it picked the Jetpack store, and fourth time sign in. Now you have the question, what is the use of that in the real time? Yeah, I understand the concept of the what random controller, but what is the use in the real time? What we are using in the real time? Okay,
Maybe for smoke testing.
not exactly smoke testing. Give me. I'm giving you one scenario. Guys, have you seen one functionality in your UI? Uh, to to perform any action. Guys, you can mute, please. To perform any action, we have the multiple option. Have you seen this type of functionality in your application? Can you give me one example? Like to do any action, we have multiple options are there. Have you seen this type of functionality in your
Like
application?
I can give an example as for clear and reset. Both are same.
Yeah, you can say like that, clear and reset. And let me take one example. When you are purchasing any item, guys, you can mute.
That is functional testing, right? Clear and reset.
Yeah, functional testing, right? But
But
for
what you are asking,
but both are doing the same action.
so
The clear and reset, both the things are doing the same thing, right?
no, you are asking example about random controller, right?
I'm
So how it
asking
is
that
like?
just leave it random controller. Just leave it random controller. I'm
Okay.
asking, have you seen an example that for doing any particular action, you have the multiple option? Let's suppose I'm taking one example. When you are purchasing any items in the any e-commerce site, when you come to the at the end of the page, at the payment page, have you seen that we have multiple payments method there, like using the MasterCard, using the credit card, using the net banking, using the debit card, using the different bank option, right? So you can see the multiple list of option there for the one action item. Agree or not?
Yes.
To do the payment, we have the multiple options are there, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, exactly. Now take this some different example. Now, have you seen when you are creating this account, this application I'm taking, right? So have you seen one functionality in your application? If you click on the my account, you can register, right? And we have some other link also. If you click on the any other link, any other option you have, using by clicking on the that option, you will again reach to the register page and you can register. Means for the same action, we have multiple way to go that position, to reach that position. Agree?
Yes.
Agree? Now guys, in that situation, we don't know. When you are doing the testing, guys, are you testing only one way or all the way?
all the way.
Why you are doing all the way? If you have already tested one way, then why you are wasting your time to test the all the way to reach that particular position? Why you are testing all the the way 1, way 2, way 3 and way 4 to reach to that particular position? Why you are testing?
For full
Any
coverage.
particular reason?
For full coverage.
Full coverage. Okay. Any other reason? What happened in my when I was first time I joined the company in my testing industry. Uh, my project was the educational projects were there. I work on the educational project in my first company. Uh, my first company was an educational project, right? So in that company, they are working on the educational project, and the student have to register register for the application for the examination, right? You have to register. And I work on the multiple university like Oxford University, Philippines University, California universities, and there are multiple US university, the Texas University. I have worked on the multiple application of these universities actually, okay, in the real time. Okay, in my first company they are working on the educational project, so that's why I got a chance to work on the educational project. I means like university project like the Oxford application, Texas application, and Philippines universities and Columbiana universities, right? We have top level of the universities project in my earlier companies, right? So I was working in Columbiana University's application. Okay. Uh, so the graduate level student want to register for the course, right? I have the one functionality which I have to test, right? So in that page, to register for that particular course, we have the multiple option, like to click on this link, or if you reach to this page, you will get that link also and you will register, right? We have multiple option to register. Okay, so what I thought, I tested with one or two, and I thought it will work for the other also. Right, it was very earlier stage when I was started my career, and I think I had remember there have 4 to 5 way to register to that particular application, to that particular course, but I have tested for only two. And I'm asking to my team lead that I have tested all the scenarios, and in the they having the test cases, in all the test cases I make it as a pass because I have tested for two and I have made all the test cases as pass for the other three way also, but I have not tested all the three way because I thought like it is the same process, the way, the initial way of things are only different, but the page are same where they are reaching to that particular place, right? So that thing is going into the acceptance, right? And everyone, my image was good in that company, so everyone thought that he has tested, then it was good. We don't expect any critical, but okay. So when before launching to the production, we have one more testing, okay, in the migration. The tester had started the testing, and that particular section has not assigned to me, some other person, my team lead has assigned that task. Okay, so what he did, she started not started the two position which I have tested. He started the another third, fourth, and fifth, and what he see that when he clicking on the link, the register page is not displayed, right? It is like the critical and the blocker, right? So he'd come to, I think she was girl, I think. the person who is telling. If the boys, then we are coordinating, in between us that, hey, you have tested and we are getting this error. So, but the person was girl, and she reached to the team lead and asking to the team lead, ma'am, I have tried this scenario and it is not working. It's showing the error page. Then ma'am called me, and she has taken me the badly class. The things are going to the production, and now you are getting the critical scenario. So at that time, I feel very bad. That was very big mistake by me actually, right? Why? Because we don't know the perspective of users, right? Okay, I will follow the first path. I don't know the second user. So might be he will use the fourth way, might be he will use the fifth way, right? And I have not tested the third and fourth and the fifth way. That's why bug was there. The critical bug was there. Okay. Anyway, so I think you have faced this type of issue, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say, as part of random controller, when I have added the request, but we don't know, not this request, this is the common actually, but some request we don't know which one the customer will follow, which one customer will use. We don't know exactly. We don't know exactly. That's why in that scenario, we are using the random controller. Random controller. Okay. So let's suppose we have added here 5, let's suppose 10 user. 10 user. So when I added the 10 user, the first user will pick Jetpack store, and when the second user comes, it will again pick the Jetpack store. When the third user will comes, then he will take sign in. Then fourth user will come, he will pick fish item. Like, so in that case, we don't know which user, which one is selected by the user. In that of scenario, like in that situation, we are using the random controller, where we don't know the which one customer will pick up. So in that case, we are adding that functionality inside the random controller, right? So let me run for the 10 and let's see what happens. Can you see it here? First user click on the sign in, second user click on the sign in, third user Jetpack store, fourth user sign in, fifth user sign in, and again next user Jetpack store, again next user Jetpack store, again next user Jetpack store, again sign in and pet store. Okay, but in the real time we are not using actually. Yeah, we are using in some of case, but generally we are not using the random controller. Okay, but if the interview asks you, then you can explain this thing, okay, with the example. Now guys, tell me one mathematical calculation. Number of requests is 2. Now tell me how many total requests will be there. If I pass number of thread is 2, then total number of requests when I execute this thing, tell me.
Two only.
2 only? Okay, let's try.
6. I
6?
guess it. Yes. 3 requests into 2. Which one you executed?
Number of user is 2. I told that one user will pick one random, any one, not all 3. So one user,
Okay.
let's suppose pick Jetpack store, another user will the another one. So there is only 2, right?
Yes, 2.
If I pick here 10, now tell me total number of requests.
10.
Exactly 10. So this type of question in the interview they will ask you. Guys, I'm in between the class, I'm also explaining the interview question. Do not expect me. I will again, again take the interview class separately. Right? Whatever the interview question I am asking you, please write it down. Okay.
Vikash,
So, yeah, ma'am.
yeah, one doubt. So for this kind of random controller, we can't give any loop count in thread group.
Yes, you can. If you want, then you can.
Then how it will take?
So let's suppose I am applying 2 here. 2 user. Okay. Then see what happens. Total number of requests is 4. Now how for one user will pick 1. Now second user will pick 1 again. It total number of is 2. Now 2 times execution. Then again 1 and 1, that is 4. Clear?
Yes.
Now will the same thing I have written here. Now if you read this thing, you can understand. I don't want to pronounce this thing. I think you can understand if you read this thing. Okay. Here I have also added the scenario. Okay. Now we are moving to the random order controller. Random order controller. Random order controller is the one of the also controller which is used in random order controller. What happened? Let me add the random order controller. Random order controller, and inside this controller, let me move the scenario, duplicate, move the scenario, duplicate, move the scenario. Oh, move the same one actually. Duplicate, move here, and duplicate. Okay, disable this thing. Now I am executing this thing. Now you guys tell me, please. 1 and 1. Okay. Now you guys tell me this how it's working actually. What happened? Clear. Run. Open Jetpack store. This one random order. Open Jetpack store. Fish item and sign in. Okay. Again I am executing. Please watch carefully. Notice the sequence. Open Jetpack store. Fish item. Sign in. Again I am executing. Fish item, sign in, and Jetpack store. Now tell me the difference. Now what did you understand this thing?
In first case, I mean to say in random, that time it is picking only one request randomly. But in this case, it's picking all, but randomly.
Exactly. In random order controller, it's executing all, but randomly. Right, it will execute all, but in the random order. You can see when I execute this thing first time, open Jetpack store, yes, sign in is the second position, but here you can see the fish item is executed in the second position and the sign in the third. And the second scenario, Jetpack store fish item, you can see we don't know the order here. The fish item in the third, fish item is the top, and sign in is the second, and Jetpack store is the third. So in the random order, we don't know the order, but it will execute all. Now tell me, what is the difference between random order and random controller?
Random control, it was not executing all. It
Mm-hmm.
It will pick one at a time.
In
Randomly.
random controller, it will execute one sample out of the sample which added inside the random controller. Let's suppose we have added 5, then it will take any one. And in the interview, asks you who is decided any one. We are not deciding. In the runtime JMeter will decide which one we have to pick. Runtime, not at the compile time, at the runtime. In the random order, if we have the total number of requests is 3, then all the requests will get executed, but in the random order. We don't know the order. Okay, so you will see it here. Random order controller provides the functionality to run all requests in random order for each loop. Add random order controller to thread by, it is the position where you can add logic controller and the random controller. This controller execute all samples placed under it, but in random order. For example, if I place 4 HTTP requests under random controller, then this controller will execute all but in random order. It is now, guys, if the interview asks you what is the difference between simple controller and random order controller, then what you will say? Simple controller you have seen. This one is the simple controller. Right. Now I am the interviewer and I am asking you what is the difference between simple controller and random order controller?
All the requests under the simple controller will be executed sequentially out there in the UI, means in the application. And in the random order controller, all the requests under this will be executed randomly.
Yes, in the simple controller, whatever the sampler we have added, in the same sequence it will get executed. First, open Jetpack store, click on sign in, enter the credential and the home page. But in the random order, it will execute all, but order is not decided. That is decided at the runtime.
Vikas,
Yes, sir.
can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
In this one, it's saying random order controller. In that case, order comes when there are many requests, right? I'm just giving, just समझाने के लिए बोल रहा हूँ मैं.
Okay.
है ना? ऑर्डर जब आता है, ऑर्डर वर्ड जब बहुत सारी चीजें होती है उसका ऑर्डर करते हैं. सिंगल के लिए नहीं कर सकते ना.
नहीं, सिंगल है तो उसमें क्या ऑर्डर करना, उसी को आगे पीछे तो नहीं कर सकते ना. आप तो सिंगल ही, एटलीस्ट मोर देन वन होना चाहिए.
यस, वही मेरा बताने का मतलब है कि ऑर्डर जहां वर्ड आ गया मतलब वहां बहुत सारी रिक्वेस्ट है हमारे पास.
एग्जैक्टली. एंड उसमें से आपको सफल करना मीन्स आगे पीछे करना होता है. दैट इज डिसाइडेड बाय द JMeter एट रन टाइम. Okay, so now one mathematical calculation, you guys tell me. There is 3 requests and number of thread is 3. Now tell me total number of requests.
9.
9.
I don't know, let me execute.
Yes.
Yes, 9, correct. Okay, and you can see each user number of call is 3, sample is 3. Okay.
Yes.
Here I have added the screenshot of that. Now there is one more controller, interleave controller. Interleave controller is behave like a random controller. In random controller, what we see it here? It will execute any one in the random order, right?
Yes, yes.
But in the interleave controller, let me add interleave. Here, interleave. I'm adding this thing, duplicate, move this thing here inside the interleave. Guys, I would like to request you, please do the practice, because lot of things I have provided you. Okay, lot of topics I have teach you, right? So
Yes,
if you
yes.
not do the practice, everything will get collapse. In JMeter, everything is component. Okay, so please do the practice. So I have selected the interleave controller, right? And let's see interleave controller. Let me disable this thing and try to run. Close and change it here 1 and try to run. One execution happen here, only one. Open Jetpack Store. Again, I am executing. It get failed. Okay, the assertion get failed, which I have added actually. Okay, no worry. But you can see it here, only one request get passed. Again executing. Again, it's taking only one. Now, guys, what did you understand here? Tell me. Tell me, guys, what did you understand here?
Is it like it's executing the first one, the first in sequence?
Sorry, come again.
Is it like it's executing the first request which is in first sequence only?
Yes, it
Not
will
sure.
per iteration is taking from the top. From the top position. Okay, so interleave controller will select only one sample or request store in it to run in each loop of the thread. It will execute this sampler sequentially from top to bottom order. From top to bottom order. Let's suppose now I am increasing the value 3. I'm increasing the value 3. Now, guys, you guys tell me, what did you notice here? Now tell me. Your execution will start. Now, it started. Oh, all the test cases get fail. Why, guys? Okay, response time is more. So what I will do here? Okay, let me increase the response time actually. Let me pass as a 7,000. Number of thread is 3, right? Open Jetpack Store, interleave. Here you have added 3. Clear this thing and run. Oh, why it's happening? Let me pass the 10 8 here. Let me pass the 10 here. It again. Let me give me a second. Let me select one, and loop count is 3. And let me try to run. Open Jetpack Store, sign in and fish item. Yes. So in the interleave controller, right? So here you can see it here. Number of thread is 1. Number of thread, one user hitting the server third time, means 3 times. Loop count is 3. So this scenario is clear. One user hitting the server 3 times. Clear? The loop count is 3, right? So what happened, when the first user will start the execution, it will go to the interleave and it will select out of 3, it will select the first one from the top. So you can see it here, open Jetpack Store. And it will execute, it will quit the controller. It will come out from the controller. The first user execution is completed. Now second loop count, if it is second loop count, then first is done, then it will come to the second one, and you can see second one get executed. Now when it loop count come to the third, it will not take first and second, because both are executed. It will take the third one. So it will take one. It will take only one from top to bottom. From top to bottom. So you can see in the first loop count, it will take open Jetpack Store. In the second loop count, it take the sign in. In the third loop count, it taking the fish item. You can see it here.
So is
Right?
it like for every
so that
so Vikash, is it like for every number of loop it will take one request?
Yes, you can say in every loop, it taking at least one request from the top. Suppose we have 100 users, right? 100 users, and you have 100 search result. 100 user and 100 search result, and you want to create the scenario like each user will hit one request. Each user will hit one request. So in that case, we can use the interleave. One user will in one loop count will select one. In second one, it will select second. In third one, it will select third. So in every execution, one will get executed from top to bottom.
So
Okay.
what if
In the real
if
time,
the
generally we are not using. Yeah, come go ahead, sir.
what if we increase the thread numbers of thread, how the execution will look?
Let's suppose if I'm increasing the thread number, let's suppose here third and here one, right?
No, let the
So
loop
what
count
happens?
as
This
yeah. This is also third. That is also third.
okay.
Yeah.
First we can see with one.
Yes.
Okay, so let me call. So it will only execute only first one. Because each this means this separate 3 users we have. separate three users, Vikas, Rahul, Mukesh. Vikas, Rahul, Mukesh. Right? Agree?
Yes, yes.
Right. So this is the separate thread. So in each thread, it will go and select the top one. Right. And here, if we increase the 3, right, so each user will hit the interleave controller 3 times, and when it will selected the first one, it will not select the first one, it will leave it and select the second one. When the first user already selected the sign in, then it will select the next one, he will not select the same. Clear?
Okay.
Try to do it at your end. After then you will get an idea. Actually, play with that,
Because
and after then you will get an idea. Yeah, ma'am.
because I got the concept, but just can you please give me some inference where, in which case it is used in real time? I mean, I could imagine like in which cases this type of controller will be
Okay,
used. Or
in
something.
the real time, in the real time, let's suppose we have 100 search field, right? Let's suppose I'm using the Flipkart site. I'm using the Flipkart. I'm using the Flipkart. Inside the Flipkart, you can see multiple search results are there. Multiple search results are there. Okay. What I did here, your client wants to create the scenario like run the one user, and let's suppose we have uh, grocery search, grocery, we have mobile search, we have fashion search, we have electronic search, we have home search, we have travel search. You can see it here. We have multiple search are there. Whatever you want, there are multiple search. Okay. Now your clients wants that run the one user, and he will hit one search at a time. One search at a time, and he has to complete all the search. He has to complete all the search. So guys, tell me, if I create one simple controller, inside the simple controller, if I add the sampler, let's suppose sorry, let me collapse the thing, this thing also, I'm adding one simple logic controller, right? And inside that I'm adding one request, that is grocery. I have added one request, and let me make the duplicate, and let me clear the multiple. Right. And what is the name of mobile search? Like this is your second search, mobile, and this is the third search, and the third search is fashion you have. Okay, and this is your fifth one. In the fifth one, you are adding electronics. Electronic. This is the last one, home. Okay. I have added 4 sampler here. 4 search result. We have different search result. Now guys, tell me, if I pass it here, if I pass 10 and so let's suppose if I am passing 10, what happened? Tell me. How many times it will get executed?
One time. Each user one time.
10
Each
into
user will
5.
hit one time? No, sir. It is
50.
simple controller, not interleave or other controller. Simple controller it is.
Each request will hit for 10 times.
So there are total 50, right? Each user will hit the grocery, mobile, fashion, and electronics and home, right? Right,
Yes.
guys?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me, you want to apply the scenario where the scenario is one user will hit at a time only one search item. Only one search item. Not, they are also clicking on the grocery, they are also clicking on the mobile, and they are also clicking on the other item. They want, in one scenario, they want only one search item, they want to hit it by the user, right? But if you add the simple controller, it will hit all, right or wrong?
Yes, right.
Right?
Yes.
But what I am doing here, if I am adding all the scenario inside the interleave controller, then tell me what happened. One user will hit one scenario, agree? One search result.
Yes.
Yes, from the top.
Right? Now, in every scenario, you want to hit a different search result. In every scenario. So what you will do, how many searches are there? 1, 2, 3,
5.
4, 5. So if you want to execute these 3 for the one user, what you will do here? 5. So what happened? In the first flow, it will hit grocery. Then when the second loop count, it will hit the mobile. When third loop count, it will hit the fashion. If you use the interleave, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yes, Bikash.
Exactly. So
Yes, got it.
like that we are applying in the real time. Okay. So when your application is too much complex, in that case we are using the interleave controller. Otherwise we are not using interleave controller. Now I will take another 5 to 10 minutes, guys. Now, runtime controller, which is used in the real time. Runtime controller. Okay. So I will go here and let me delete this thing, disable this thing. Disable. I have disabled the thing. Okay. Go to the thread group. Sorry. Logic controller, runtime controller, and inside the runtime controller, let me add the request, duplicate and pass it here. Okay, inside the runtime you have added the sign in. Clear? And if you go there, here you can see runtime second. run time second. Let's see what happened. If I am passing 3 seconds. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. What happened, guys? You can see it here on the screen. Now tell me, what did you notice here? Even I have passed one thread here, and loop count is even 1. Why it's executing multiple times? You can see it here. Total 8 sample. Now again I am running this thing. Again, in the runtime I have passed 3 seconds, and the thread group is 1 1 1. Simple. Okay, sign in I have added. Let me execute. Now tell me, can you see earlier it was 8, now it's showing 14. It's strange. Now tell me, what did you understand here? Any guess, any idea, anything you can say, guys?
I think until the runtime is met, it is continuing the run maybe till 3 seconds.
Okay. Any other answer? Anyone have it? Anyone having
Runtime
any other
runs
answer?
are aggregated.
Okay. What happened in the real time? What happened? Your team, your client is asking you that in 1 second, in particular given time, you want to execute this particular request. In 3 seconds, you continuously apply the load up to 3 seconds. Like that scenario, your client is asking to you continuously apply the load up to 3 seconds. Then here you have to pass the second here, right? So up to 3 seconds it will execute your scenario. Doesn't matter what loop count, number of thread here you have passed.
It means how maximum
Okay.
times the request could be sent to within that time,
Whatever
right?
the maximum run time we will mention here, that particular request will run up to that time. If I mention 10 seconds, then up to 10 seconds, the continuously the user will hit your server, whatever the request we have added here, the continuously it will hit it by the server. Click on the sign in, 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 up to 3 seconds, up to 5 seconds, up to 10 seconds, whatever the time you will mention here.
And if
So
there are
in the
multiple
real
requests
time
under this,
we are using this concept. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
and Vikash, if we have multiple requests under the same runtime controller, then how will it take the request? Means
Okay,
randomly?
let's see. We are adding one more request here. Let's see. You are asking if you have multiple requests, right?
Yes.
Right, sir? Okay,
Yes,
let's
yes.
see. I have added the multiple requests. Now let's see what happened. And what time I have mentioned here? Let me check the time here. Oh, 10 seconds. I don't want to put 10 seconds. It will hit multiple requests. Okay. Let me pass 5 seconds. So in the 5 second, how many, they will hit in sign in and fish item they will hit. Okay. Let me clear and execute. Can you see it here? First is clicking on the sign in, then fish item, sign in, fish item, sign in, fish item, sign in, fish item, sign in, fish item, up to
Means
5
it's
seconds.
going sequentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, yes.
In the real time, in the interview, they will ask you, they will provide you one scenario like you have five sample, five requests, and you want to hit that five sample up to 5 seconds, up to 10 seconds. You have to apply the scenario like that. How you can apply the scenario? Up to 5 to 10 seconds, 5 or 10 seconds, you want to continuously hit the server, particular given time you want to hit the server, then how you can? In that case, you can use the runtime controller. Okay, and this thing is decided based on the market. Let's suppose if user is guys, tell me one question. Tell me one question. If user is hitting continuously grocery in the real time in the market, the grocery is number of used by the customer, by the end user. The beauty and toy is rarely used. So can you taste grocery or buy toy? So you will apply the continuously load on the server on the grocery, right? You will put the grocery scenario here and you will check. This scenario is decided by the market actually. The number of user, on which feature, on which module, the number of user is hitting, hitting the server frequently. Right? If number of user hitting any particular item frequently, the number of user is more, to use that particular application, you have to test that application, that particular application in the runtime. Not the feature or any module which is rarely used by the user. Can you use that thing here? No. Right. Now, any question? Runtime controller? Clear?
Yes.
Now we have one last controller, that is a transaction controller. Let's try to understand the transaction. Guys, I will take another 5 minutes, so do not leave. So transaction controller, let me disable. So go to the thread group, add logic controller, and where is the transaction controller? Right, inside the transaction controller, let me duplicate and move the things. Transaction controller, let me duplicate and move the things. Okay, and transaction controller. Okay, and let me clear this thing. And let me go thread group 111. Okay, this is the one flow I have added inside the transaction controller. Let me execute and let's see and keep the eye on the screen and tell me. Oh, why extra? I have not added the transaction controller. Okay, no problem. And if you go to the aggregate report, you can see it here. What changes you can see it here? So when you want the, here what we are doing here, individually we are calculating the time, average time, medium time, 90 percentile, minimum, maximum, and the throughput. Agree, guys? Individually, right?
Yes.
But in some case you want, guys, you can mute. In one scenario, you want the whole flow. You want the calculate the timing of the whole flow, the end-to-end flow, like sign in and click on the fish item and click on the logout. You want to check the whole, whole process time, one scenario time. You can see it here. This is the one flow of the scenario time in the transaction controller here. You can see 1579 millisecond it's taken, and the throughput is 79.9. Right, the maximum time taken is 1.79. So it will display the result on the folder level, on the controller level. You can see it here. It will display the result at the controller level. Controller level means to one flow result. It will give you the one flow result. To sign in and to click on the fish item and to log out. How many total times taken to complete this process? You can see 1579 millisecond it's taken. You can see it here in the aggregate report. The medium time is this one, 90% time is this one. If you go to the view result tree, you can see the response time is 1579. If you click on the sign in and click on the fish item, the response time is 1579. So it will give you the consolidated result in the form of a whole flow. The whole flow result it will provide. Right. So same thing I have written here. Any query, any question? We have the transaction controller we are using in the real time. So let me explain you what are the controller we are using in the real time. Logic controller, we are using loop controller, transaction controller, random controller we are also using, recording controller, runtime controller, simple controller, and module controller. The majorly used controller is module controller, simple controller, recording controller, and transaction controller. These all are the frequently used in the real time. Okay, so guys, please do the practice. If you can't do the practice, you can't, I have promised you that at the end you have 3 to 4 years of the experience knowledge. It's totally waste if you don't do the practice. Okay, so please do the practice. If you don't do the practice, the query will not come up to me and you will not feel confident. So please do the practice. In next class, we will discuss about the pre-processor, post-processor, and the config element and the timer. Okay. So please do the practice at your end, guys, please. So thank you guys. And today I will share you the updated document also. You can go through and learn the controller. Okay. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Good day. Bye-bye. Thank you guys.